The star you're looking at right now might be dead, the present moment doesn't exist, and everything you think you know about time, it's wrong. Provably, measurably, uncomfortably wrong. I don't say this to unsettle you, though unsettled you may become. I say it because the truth, however disorienting, is always more magnificent than the comfortable lie. And time, my friends, is the most comfortable lie we've ever told ourselves. Go outside tonight, find a patch of sky away from the city's glow. Look up at those pinpoints of light scattered across the cosmic dark. What you're seeing is not the universe as it is. You're seeing ghosts. That star catching your eye right now might have exploded into a supernova 1,000 years ago. The light that left it is only now completing its journey to your retina. You are not looking at the present. You are looking at history, at a universe that may no longer exist in the form you perceive. This is your first hint that something is catastrophically wrong with your understanding of time. We carry time with us everywhere. We strap it to our wrists, we hang it on our walls, we feel it in the relentless march of birthdays, in the slow accumulation of wrinkles and the fading of photographs. Time seems so obviously real, so fundamentally woven into existence, that to question it feels absurd. But that feeling, that bone-deep certainty, is exactly the problem. Your intuition about time is a biological accident, an evolutionary tool honed over millions of years to help your ancestors avoid predators and find food. It was never designed to reveal cosmic truth. It was designed to keep you alive long enough to reproduce. Let me show you how unreliable your time sense really is. Right now, close your eyes and count to 60. 1, 2, 3. You think you're measuring something external, something objective, but you're actually running a deeply personal cognitive program that varies wildly from person to person. Some of you hear a voice counting in your head, sub-vocalizing each number. If I asked you to speak while counting, you'd lose your place immediately. But others don't hear anything. You see images, numbers on a visual display, clicking past like film frames. If you're using that visual system, you can read a book while keeping perfect count. Different circuits, different mechanisms, same supposed experience of time. This tells us something profound. What you experience as the passage of time is not a universal constant. It's a construct. Your brain takes raw sensory input and converts it into something useful for navigating the world. But useful and true are not the same thing. In physics, we learn to be ruthlessly operational. We don't ask what time is in some metaphysical sense. We ask, how do we measure it? And the answer, when you strip away all the poetry, is startlingly simple. Time is a way of ordering events. That's it, a bookkeeping system. A filing cabinet for the universe. Imagine you have a deck of cards laid out in a row. The jack comes before the queen before the king. The cards aren't moving, the table isn't flowing. The order is simply a structural property. Time is the table, events are the cards. When we say time passes, we're just reading the cards from left to right. But here's where nearly everyone makes a catastrophic error. We imagine time as a container, a giant cosmic box existing independently of everything in it. We think if you removed all the stars, all the planets, all the atoms, time would still be there, ticking away. Tick, tick, tick. This is the Newtonian view. It dominated physics for 3 centuries, and it is utterly, completely wrong. Time is not a container. Time is a property of change itself. If nothing in the universe changes, if no particle vibrates, no field fluctuates, then time ceases to have meaning. You cannot define a second without something physical to mark it. A pendulum swinging, a quartz crystal oscillating, a cesium atom transitioning between states. Time is not separate from the universe. Time is an aspect of the universe. This leads to an uncomfortable realization Time doesn't do anything. Time doesn't age you or spoil your milk or rust your bicycle. These are linguistic traps. When we say time caused this, we're personifying time, treating it as if it were an agent with powers. But time is not a force. Bacteria spoil your milk, chemical reactions rust your bicycle, cellular processes turn your hair gray. Time is merely the coordinate system we use to track when these processes occur. Saying time ages you is like saying inches built your house. Inches didn't build anything. Carpenters built your house. Inches just measure where the walls are. Time is the ruler, not the carpenter. Now, let me make this stranger still. If time is a ruler, what happens when the ruler itself bends? This is not philosophy. This is experimentally verified, technologically essential fact. We used to believe a second was a second everywhere in the universe. One cosmic heartbeat synchronized across all of space, a clock on Earth, a clock on Mars, a clock in Andromeda, all ticking in perfect harmony. It feels intuitively correct. It is false. The rate at which clocks tick depends on where they are and how fast they're moving. This is not a defect in the clocks. This is the actual behavior of time itself. Imagine driving across a vast plain. You can drive north or east or some combination. If you drive purely north, you're making maximum northward progress. But the moment you turn northeast, you're dividing your motion between north and east. You're not going north as quickly anymore. Now replace north with time and east with space. You are always moving through the universe at a constant speed, the speed of light. But that motion is shared between movement through time and movement through space. If you sit perfectly still, you're devoting all your motion to traveling through time. You're aging at maximum speed. But the moment you stand up and walk, you're diverting some of that motion into space, which means you must move slower through time. Your clock slows down, your aging slows down, time itself dilates. If you could accelerate to the speed of light, which physics forbids for anything with mass, you would use 100% of your motion for space. You would have zero motion left for time. For a photon traveling from a distant star to your eye, no time passes at all. From the photon's perspective, it is created and destroyed in the same instant. You might think, but I don't notice time slowing when I run for the bus. Of course not, you're too slow. The effects are minuscule at human speeds, but they're real. GPS satellites orbit at 14,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, their clocks tick measurably slower than ground clocks. If we didn't correct for this, your GPS would accumulate errors of several miles per day. Every time you use your smartphone to navigate, you're relying on Einstein's equations. You're trusting that time is relative. But there's another lie buried even deeper, the lie of time's arrow. You feel time moving in one direction. Past is fixed, unchangeable. Future is open, uncertain. You remember breakfast this morning, you don't remember tonight's dinner. This asymmetry seems fundamental. But most physics equations don't care which direction time runs. They work equally well forwards and backwards. If you filmed a planet orbiting a star and played it backward, a physicist couldn't tell. But if you filmed an egg falling and shattering, then played it backward, everyone would know something was wrong. Eggs don't spontaneously reassemble and leap onto tables. Why not? If physics laws don't prefer one time direction, why do eggs only break one way? The answer has nothing to do with time itself. It's about probability, statistics, entropy. There are billions of ways for an egg to be broken. Shell fragments here, yolk there. But there is exactly one arrangement where the egg is whole. As systems interact, they naturally drift from rare, organized configurations toward common, disorganized ones. Not because a law forces them, but because there are vastly more ways to be disorganized than organized. The universe is shuffling a deck. You started with it perfectly sorted. Every interaction is another shuffle. The deck gets more mixed, not because mixing is preferred, but because there are more mixed arrangements than sorted ones. The arrow of time, your sensation that time flows from past to future, is really just your brain noticing the universe becoming more disordered. You are a disorder detector. When you distinguish past from future, you're sensing the direction of increasing entropy. If the universe reaches maximum entropy, maximum disorder, everything spread evenly, your brain couldn't distinguish past from future. There would be no eggs to break, no memories to form. The arrow of time would vanish. This brings us to the most uncomfortable question. If time is a property of the universe rather than an independent container, what happens at the beginning? Run the cosmic film backward. Watch the universe contract. Watch galaxies draw closer. Watch matter compress, heat up, grow denser. Eventually you reach the Big Bang, when all space, energy, and matter was compressed into an infinitesimal point. A singularity where the laws of physics dissolve. Does it make sense to ask what happened before the Big Bang? If time is a property of the universe, if it only exists when there are events to order and changes to measure, then asking what came before time began might be as meaningless as asking what lies north of the North Pole. The question seems valid, but geometrically, physically, it's nonsense. There is no north of the North Pole. There may be no before the Big Bang, yet we desperately want there to be. We want the timeline to extend infinitely backward. It's agonizingly difficult for our narrative-building minds to accept that the cosmic story might simply begin. Consider the implications. Right now, if we're standing together, we share roughly the same now. But if you board a spaceship and accelerate to near light speed, your definition of now, your slice through four-dimensional space-time, tilts at a different angle than mine. What you consider happening right now on a distant planet might be in my future. What I consider now might be in your past. There is no universal present moment blanketing the entire universe. The universe is not a flip book of snapshots. The universe is a block, a four-dimensional structure where past, present, and future all exist simultaneously, and how you slice through that block depends on your motion. This is profoundly weird. It violates every intuition you have, but your intuitions were shaped by evolution in an environment where nothing moved faster than a thrown rock. Your intuitions are survival tools, not truth detection instruments. When you try forcing the universe to conform to your prejudices, you get paradoxes and confusion. But when you let go, when you stop demanding reality, match your expectations, everything falls into place. The equations work. The predictions match observations. We live in a universe where time is negotiable, where past and future are observer-dependent labels, where the sensation of time flowing is an illusion generated by entropy and memory, where time itself might have had a beginning and might someday lose all meaning. This is the uncomfortable truth. Time, as you know it, as you experience it, as you trust it, is not what you think it is. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. But it does make sense, just not in the language of everyday experience. It makes sense in the language of mathematics and the beautiful logic of equations that don't care about your feelings. And here's what I find beautiful. Even though your intuition is wrong, even though your internal clock is a biological approximation, even though time is flexible and relative, you can still live your life. You can still boil water. You can still meet friends for lunch. The strangeness of relativity operates at scales beyond daily human experience. But isn't it better to know? Isn't it better to know that beneath the familiar ticking of clocks lies a reality stranger and more beautiful than our ancestors imagined? That when you look at stars, you're looking backward through time itself? That every telescope is a time machine? We are made of star stuff. The atoms in your body were forged in dying stars billions of years ago. But we are also made of time stuff. We are temporary decreases in entropy, brief eddies of organization in a universe trending toward disorder. The time you experience is simply your consciousness becoming aware of that journey toward equilibrium. The universe doesn't owe you comfort or simplicity, but it offers you something infinitely more valuable: truth. The truth that time is stranger, more flexible, more intimately woven with space and gravity than anyone before Einstein conceived. The truth that your intuition, while adequate for survival, is a poor guide to cosmic reality. Time is a liar, but it's an honest liar. It never pretended to be what you assumed. You simply never thought to question it. Now you know better. Now you can see the machinery beneath the illusion. And once you see it, you carry that knowledge forward into every moment, every tick of your watch, every heartbeat, knowing that what you're experiencing is not time flowing like a river, but you, a conscious pattern of matter and energy moving through a dimension as real and strange as the 3 dimensions of space. We are all time travelers, moving toward the future at rates that vary with speed and gravity, carrying the past as memory, riding entropy's arrow toward equilibrium. And in this brief window of cosmic history, when stars still burn and conscious minds still ponder, we have the extraordinary privilege of understanding, however imperfectly, time's true nature. That is the uncomfortable truth. And despite its strangeness, despite how it upends everything you thought you understood, it is glorious. It is magnificent. It is worthy of wonder and awe. The cosmos is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be, and time is the dimension in which that cosmic drama unfolds, not as you imagined it, but as it truly is.